What's good, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to the channel. I'm LotusAsakura, the one who never knows best, and in today's video I'm bringing you a video that's similar to something I've done before. And I don't remember how many games I've done this before, but the last time I did this was for Granblue Fantasy Versus Rising, and that is a tier list on how annoying your main character is. Now, I'm sure this is going to be plenty of fun because this is going to be very subjective. Obviously, everybody has their own biases, and your main might be higher or lower than where you think that they should be. And well, you know, I have my own opinions, you have yours, and it just is what it is at the end of the day. I'm sure it's going to be a lot of comments who disagree with this, but that's the fun in doing something like this, I suppose. So I'm also live while I'm recording this, so I might get a little bit of input here or there from chat. I thought about having chat on screen, but I just don't like the way it looks no matter how I do it, no matter where I put it. So it just is what it is. But this is being recorded live on the Twitch channel and the YouTube channel because I mostly stream on both. But yes, a tier list on ranking the most annoying characters in Tekken 8. Let's get into it. All right, boom. So these are going to be our lovely tiers for this list. At the bottom, we have harmless. These are the characters I'm like, I'm saying you're okay, I guess. I don't really have too much issue. Then we have where it's like, you're not quite harmless, but when I see you, it's not that big a deal. Then we have the annoying tier, okay? These are the characters where I kind of let out a little bit of a sigh or roll my eyes when I see them. It's like, here we go, you know what I'm saying? Then we have frustrating. These are the characters that low-key kind of start getting under your skin. It's like, it's getting pretty annoying. And then at the very top of the list, we have the no one will ever love you tier. These are the characters where if you play them, I know that you're going to die alone. Jokes aside though, these are, in my opinion, the most annoying characters in the game. Like I said, I might be taking a little bit of input from chat, but for the most part, these are going to be my opinions. And that is, of course, the number one rule to keep in mind at the end of the day. That this is just my opinion, okay? I have my own biases, my own opinions, and you're going to have some that you agree, disagree with, and that's fine. Feel free to leave your own tier list in the comments down below. In fact, I encourage you to leave your own tiers or talk about the characters that you think are the most annoying in the comments. I'd be very interested to see where you guys stand on that. But with that, let's go ahead and get into it. The first character, we're just going to go in order as they're listed here. The first character is Jack, and I'm going to put Jack in the annoying tier. And here's why, right? For the most part, I don't think Jack is that big of an issue. However, I cannot stand listening to this character scream. It's just constantly, he's just constantly wailing in my ears, and it's annoying. It's just annoying. On top of that, he's got the plus frames. He also has the fastest heat smash in the game, I believe, at 10 frames, which can just be a little bit of annoying to deal with. I don't think Jack is a particularly powerful character, which I'm not gonna put him up much higher on the list, but he's just constantly wailing and screaming in my ear, and I just find that annoying. So he's just gonna go here in the middle of the pack at annoying, okay? All right, next we have Jin. And frankly, I don't really find Jin to be that big of an issue. He's not particularly weak or strong in my opinion. He seems solid, right? He doesn't seem like top 5 or nothing like that. In my opinion, you know, the game's still really young and I'm not the best or the most knowledgeable player. But when I fight Jin, I don't really feel no type of way about him. He'd probably go in or harmless. The only thing about Jin, right, is that he has a couple of strings that when you're at the lower levels could be a bit of a nuisance to deal with. And obviously hell sweeps are a thing and everything like that. But like when I see Jin, it really is just like I don't really feel no type of way about Jin. I kind of want to put him in the harmless tier, to be honest. You know what? I might move him into just for forward 2 alone. forward 2 alone, we're gonna put him in just because of that one move. But if it wasn't for that, I might put him in harmless. I ain't gonna lie. All right, next we have Jun, right? And I want you to keep in mind that this is not a tier list based on how strong characters are. A character being top tier or one of the strongest in the game doesn't necessarily make them the most annoying character or the most frustrating character. So with that being said, while I believe Jun is a top 5 character in this game, she's not going to the very top of the list, okay? Because for one, she's way too pretty for that. Me saying no one will ever love her, that's just a lie. Y'all all in love with Jun already. I already see all the simps in the chat, you know what I'm saying? It is what it is, but she is frustrating. I'm not gonna lie. The strings, the safe launchers, she's very, very powerful. The damage, her healing herself, it's a lot. I'm not gonna lie to you. There are definitely some characters I hate in this game way more than I could ever hate Jun, but I would be silly to not put her in at least the frustrating tier. I don't think too many of you guys will fight back with me on that unless you just feel like she belongs in the very top tier. Next on the list, we have Kazuya. And Kazuya is an interesting character because the Kazuya mains will tell you that he's bottom tier, bottom 5. I personally have a hard time believing that. I don't think this character is that bad. I also find Kazuya mains like weirdly egotistical and just strange individuals overall, but that's just me. That's just me. But this character is not harmless, okay? And he's not I definitely find Kazuya more annoying than I find Jin. However, I personally want to throw Kazuya in the frustrating tier. Now, again, listen, this is not a tier list based on strength, okay? While I don't think Kazuya is actually bottom tier in this game, I don't think he's top tier necessarily either. I don't know. Still missing some information, but I'm not gonna lie to you, man. Getting caught in that vortex, getting caught in that constant 50-50 situation, that shit can get pretty frustrating. I'm not gonna lie. Getting looped into 50-50s, like having his 1-1-2, his 10 frame punish that knocks you down and immediately sets up the vortex. Like if he blocks damn near anything, okay, boom, knocked down into here goes the vortex. You know what I'm saying? And it's other characters. Listen, you're a Hwoarang. We gonna get the Hwoarang, okay? We gonna get to every character on this list. It's coming. Trust and believe. But But how you gonna complain about mix-ups and 50-50s and you play Hwoarang? How you gonna complain? Relax. We gonna get there, okay? I find Kazuya very frustrating. That's just me. I'm sure some of you don't think Kazuya is that frustrating or annoying. You probably ain't fighting Kazuyas who are that good, okay? So we're gonna have different opinions on this. That's fine. You know, I feel like bare minimum, he gotta go here, but I find him more annoying than I find Jack. That's just me though. That's just me though. And we gotta talk about, by the way, while we're on the subject of Kazuya, people calling this character honest. Oh, but he's so honest and he's so hard. And okay, Kazuya's a difficult character. I'll give that to you all day long, right? Requires some good execution, some fundamentals, although I've fought my fair share of Kazuya players who don't have fundamentals. They just have the execution and they think that equals fundamentals. That's not the case though. But regardless, while I can respect the effort and the skill that it takes to play the character, that don't mean I gotta like it. And I'm so sick and tired of y'all labeling characters as honest when they're looping 50-50s. Kazuya is not an honest character. We gonna have to establish the difference between being honest and being straightforward. Kazuya is a very straightforward character. He is not a very honest character. There's nothing honest about constantly doing a 50-50 vortex over and over again. It's like, you know it's coming, but there's nothing we can do about it. You know what I'm saying? Being honest is being a good Samaritan, a good citizen, a law-abiding citizen. Kazuya is not a law-abiding citizen. He is a thief, a crook, a robber, but he gonna tell you he gonna do it. You know what to expect when he's coming through. You're not surprised that he's running you for your pockets, but you know it's coming. That nigga not honest. You just know what to expect. This doesn't mean that you can do anything about it. Honest, straightforward. Kazuya is not honest. He is straightforward. Same thing goes for characters like Azucena and others that we'll get to, but I just feel like that needed to be made clear. Anyway, moving on. King is frustrating, okay? I know for some of you, he might be in the no one will ever love you tier, and I just feel like that tier is reserved for a few characters in particular who gotta go up there, and I just don't think he quite meets the threshold. I understand King is very frustrating for a lot of people, but that's why he goes in the frustrating tier. The grabs are ridiculous, the heat smash is ridiculous, but like, for the most part, there are characters I'm struggling with more in this game and that frustrate me more when I fight them. Like King is again another one of those characters, like when I get to that match, like I'm gonna roll my eyes, but like I know what to expect, I know what I'm getting myself into, and if you just break enough throws or if you duck enough without getting launched, it becomes a much less frustrating matchup. But it's still one of those characters where it's just like, you know, that heat smash low-key gotta go. Next, we get to one of my favorite characters to talk about, and not for the reasons that you might think. Lars, very top of no one will ever love you. This character is a complete and total loser. Sonic the Hedgehog spin dash, ripping and rolling, running around at the speed of sound, cartwheeling, flipping, spipping, stipping. This character's not cool. He's not cool. Don't want to hear it. This character's lame. He's annoying. He's stupid. Simple as that. Simple as that. Next, we have Law right there. You go right there beside Lars. Okay, listen. You want to talk about gimmicks? You want to talk about strings? You want to talk about these niggas have no clue what they're doing when they play Tekken? This tier could damn near be called, I don't know what I'm doing, but neither do you. You know what I'm saying? Like that could also be this tier, because I don't know what game y'all think y'all are playing, but it's not Tekken. Okay, I have yet to fight a single Law player in Tekken 8 that doesn't fight like they snorted 3 lines of coke before they started the match. Okay, I don't know what be going through y'all head. Probably nothing. I don't know what's been pumped into your veins. But the Law players are next level nut jobs. I'm talking about Omega level freaks, like Giga Crack. Like man. Anyway, next we have Paul, and I feel like Paul is You know what I'm saying? Like I don't really like Paul hits really hard. It's like, oh, I got hit by Death Fist, but it's like, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, he's got one move that does really high damage. He's got like Demo Man, but I ain't really been. I don't really feel too crazy about Paul, but that's just me. Also, real quick about Law, because I see people talk about the Law hate. It's crazy. No, this is the worst part about it. This is the worst part about it. I think Law is a really cool character, but every single person who plays that character is a crackhead. I don't understand. I like the character. It's y'all. I'm not hating the game. I'm hating the player on that one. Moving on though. Paul's whatever. And we have Nina Williams. Look, bro, once again, you want to talk about strings. You want to talk about knowledge check. You want to talk about a character that just looks stupid when they move. I don't know why Nina moves like she's having a seizure with all her sidesteps and all her strings, but that shit pisses me off so much. She looks so stupid with every little movement she makes, bro. It's like she's having a fucking meltdown with every string and every move she does. All this glitching and twitching and twerking and shit. Sit your hyper ass down somewhere, man. Oh, but let's see, like, we gon' get to Hwoarang. Stop bringing him up. It's fuck Nina Williams, okay? Ling Xiaoyu. I almost want to put her in the no one will ever love you tier, but I kind of got a little bit of a soft spot for Xiaoyu, okay? Xiaoyu is bare minimum frustrating though, okay? There's a lot of discourse surrounding this character at the moment on Twitter and just in general, because not only is Xiaoyu arguably a top 5 character. She's very, very strong. But like her evasion has always been ridiculous, but it feels more ridiculous than ever before. AOP is just out of control, okay? Her going under not only mids, but sometimes even avoiding lows by going into that stupid ass stance. Like Xiaoyu's kind of a cool character. I like Xiaoyu, honestly. I genuinely do like the character, but she's not really that fun to fight. Although that being said, in my personal experience, I've only fought like 1 or 2 Xiaoyu players who knew what they were doing. In fact, roll the clip. Yeah, that is typically what my experience is like fighting Xiaoyu players. They don't really be knowing what they're doing. And frankly, like I play Hwoarang and I have back 3s, so when I see most of them going to AOP, I just launch them immediately because most of them don't really take advantage of that stance and do anything quickly enough to actually punish me for it. So I've won most of my matches against Xiaoyu, but the couple that I did fight that actually knew what they were doing to some capacity, yeah, AOP just going under everything, that's pretty frustrating. I'm not gonna lie. You cute as a button, but man, you be pushing them buttons. Yeah, that's kind of how I feel. Next we have Asuka, and Asuka low-key might be the first character I put in the harmless tier, but I could see people arguing for her to be a lot higher up. The thing about Asuka is that in this game she doesn't feel particularly strong, right? And like she's got some stuff to her, but like when I fight Asuka, it's just like I'm not really afraid of this character. I've yet to really fight one that got me tilted, I don't think. Like she has back 3, she has parry or whatever. But like if you play defensively against her, like at all, it's like what is she gonna do? We low-key just might delete this bottom tier. We might just delete the harmless tier altogether and just put her in eh. She's another one of those characters like when I'm on the matchup screen, it's just like you know, but does it feel right to have her in the same category as Jin and Paul? Because I feel like she's below Jin and Paul, but that's just me. Call it you know what? Someone in chat suggested something. I like that. We'll add another row, but instead of calling it harmless, what we gonna do? We gonna call it I ain't mad at it. I like that. When I see Asuka, I ain't mad at it. It just, you know what I'm saying? I ain't mad at it. Next on the list we have Leroy, and for me, I feel like Leroy kind of just goes in the F tier. The only thing that keeps him above I ain't mad at it is that the parries and stuff. You know what I'm saying? He's just, you know what? I just realized I misspelled the I ain't mad at it tier. I forgot the at. Let me just go ahead and fix that real quick. But anyway, yeah, Leroy is a character that like, I know we just talked about Asuka having parry, but I feel like obviously Leroy is a little bit different in that case. Leroy is another character who like doesn't feel particularly strong. I haven't played him for myself, but the ones that I've fought, you know what I'm saying, granted, maybe I just haven't fought any good ones that I don't really see too much of him. He's actually one of the least popular characters in the game, and the only Leroy play I can think of off top is King J. But he's just a touch above Asuka, but you know, for the most part, it's just like I don't feel threatened by this character. I don't like roll my eyes when I see him. I'm not like scared when I see him. But and then when the parries start coming out, I'm just like, oh, okay, now let's slow it down a little bit. Let's slow it down. You know what I'm saying? But you know what? It is Sozin's Comet, aka Black History Month, which means he gets the power up. He's buffed right now, so we actually gonna move him down to the I ain't mad at it tier because it's Black History Month. So anyway, moving on, we have Lili, and bare minimum, Lili has to go in the annoying tier. Her evasiveness is not quite the level of Xiaoyu, right? But that sidestep is OD. Now I like Lili as a character. That's another thing too, is that there's gonna be characters on this list that are certain places, but I like those characters. You know what I'm saying? Like I like June, I like Xiaoyu. You know what I'm saying? I think Lars. I mean, whoa. I think Lars is whack. I think Law is kind of cool. But that don't mean that they're fun to fight. You know what I'm saying? And Lili is a character like, you know, she cute or whatever. You know what I'm saying? I like some of her moves. I actually played her a tiny, just a little touch in Tekken 7, and she was kind of fun or whatever. Not a character that I would ever main, but I dabbled a little tiny bit. But just the way she be moving and grooving and twirling and whirling, and the back flips and the launchers and the big old boot that's a counter hit launcher that hits from full screen and everything like that. It's like, yeah, character a little bit annoying. You know what I'm saying? I don't think I quite put her on the level as like June and Kazuya and King. She's the character I'm struggling with a little bit, but you know what I'm saying? Like when I see her, I'm just like, for me, when I see this character, it's not like, here we fucking go. It's more so like, ah man, one of those characters I'm not that great against. She could be like borderline frustrating, but if she's frustrated, she got to be at the bottom of the list, which by the way, these tiers are not ordered for the record. I guess it's a little bit late in the video. I might do like a little cut in earlier on in the video to say that, but these aren't in order, like from left to right, just from top to bottom. You know what I'm saying? But for the moment, I'm just going to leave her in the annoying tier. Then we have Hwoarang, okay? This is the character that I think at this point I have to say is my main, right? He's a character I've been playing the most, I've learned the most on the highest rank with. I played him in Tekken 7, I'm playing him again in Tekken 8. It was a toss-up between him, Victor, and Azucena for me. I loved all three of those characters. Probably still gonna have a pocket Azucena because I really like that character and she's very strong as well. But here's the thing, okay? I understand that this is my character and I like him a lot. I think he's the coolest and most fun character in the game. But what y'all not gonna say about me is that I'm a down player or that I'm not self-aware, okay? I understand every little bit why everybody who doesn't play this character hates this character, okay? I'm not blind to it. I understand. I know what we doing to y'all at every level. Now, what I will say is that I think he unfairly has a reputation for being a very easy, very spammy character, when in reality, that character is actually harder than most characters in this game. And in my opinion, is in contention for one of the hardest characters. Oh, but what about Mishimas? We have to wave dash and electric. Hwoarang has a wave dash. Hwoarang has a just frame skyrocket. That's the same as doing an electric. You know what I'm saying? Like we also die for getting our 50-50 block. We ain't gonna get to that conversation. Hwoarang is a hard character, okay? But he's a very, very annoying character. And that is why, I know, I'm not stupid. Y'all act like just because I play a character, that means I can't acknowledge that they're strong or annoying. But the reality is, the nigga deserves his own tier. Like realistically, I get it. Now he's cool as hell. Like I don't mind the mirror match. I win in the mirror match more often than not. But like, I can understand why fighting this motherfucker could be really annoying. For most people, he's probably gonna be the most annoying character in the game. For a lot of people, okay? I get it. I know what I am. Hold that though. Flamingo, bam, 4-3, bam, 4-2, bam, back 2, bam. Oh, what's that? You duck up 4-4, bam, launch it, bam, full screen carry, high, wall combo. Yeah. I get it, okay? Hold that. It is what it is. Anyway, with that out of the way, we have Claudio. And Claudio is I just feel very about Claudio. I think Claudio is a pretty lame character, but I also feel like he's kind of inoffensive. Like I don't really have strong feelings about Claudio at all. Like you know what I'm saying? Then we have Azucena. Basically my backup character, my secondary character, my pocket character, whatever you want to call her. I think she's really cool, really fun, and very, very strong, okay? Probably like a top 5-ish character in the game. But again, I can acknowledge all of that, okay? And while I personally don't find her too much of an issue to deal with in terms, partially also because I play her, so like I know a little bit about how to deal with the matchup, but I mean, bare minimum, she got to be in the frustrating tier. For a lot of y'all, she might be in the no one will ever love you tier. I can't personally put her there. This is as high as it goes. Take it or leave it. Frustrating as high as I can put her. It is what it is, right? But like, much like Kazuya, she's one of those characters, oh, but she's so on. She's not on. Running 3-2, 1-1 into stance, into hell sweep or launcher, the auto parry from stance, that power crush, +5 after a heat dash. I get it. This character, but you know what to expect. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you already know, like, it's about to be just straight hands and she's just gonna mix you a couple times. Like, it is what it is. Like, the thing about her is that, like, I see people say one word that I see get tossed around way too much is gimmicks, right? There are definitely gimmicky characters in this game. Like, I feel like Law, Nina, like, these are characters with very strong gimmicks. Hwoarang has some gimmicks as well, right? I don't really use a lot of them, but every once in a while you got to throw them in there. And the thing is, like, if your character has a gimmick, especially if it's a particularly good one, you should use it. And if you're fighting somebody who doesn't know how to deal with it, you should abuse it. That's just the nature of the fighting game, right? I'm one of those players who back in the day, I didn't feel that way. I feel like that's a mindset that you outgrow as you mature and improving it better at games. If you're up against an opponent who doesn't know how to deal with something, abuse it. That's what you should do to win. It's not your fault that they don't know the matchup. You know what I'm saying? Do that shit, right? I didn't used to feel that way. But as I've gotten older, whatever, I mean, I felt this way for years now, but you know, when I was a teenager or whatever, I didn't feel that way, right? Growing up, I was like, if something's like too cheesy or too gimmicky or if a character's too broken, I ain't gonna play it. That's bullshit. That's a dumbass mindset. You gotta outgrow that. That being said, Azucena is not a gimmicky character. No, she just has really strong tools. You know what I'm saying? Like, there are characters who are gimmicky, like the Bears. The Bears are gimmicks. You know what I'm saying? Who else is gimmick? Like Yoshimitsu has some really crazy gimmicks. Law has some gimmicks. No, Azucena has very powerful, real Tekken tools. That running 3-2, that's not a gimmick. That is a really strong ass move that just has tracking probably better than it should be. You know what I'm saying? Her 10 frame punish, that's not a gimmick. Her doing 1-1 into stance into hell sweep or launcher, like that's not a gimmick. That's a powerful 50-50. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's just real. You know what I'm saying? I feel like we throw the word gimmick around way too often to describe something that we just don't like, or it feels like a powerful sequence from a character. But it's like, we have to understand the difference between like, no, this is a real thing, or this is a gimmick. You know what I'm saying? There's a big difference, I think, between cheese and like this sequence or this tool just being powerful. And I just feel like that's one of those things I was getting thrown around too much. That being said, as I said, it's definitely got to be in the frustrating tier, bare minimum. If you want to put her in the no one will ever love you tier, I understand, but I like her too much to put it that high. It is what it is. Then we have Raven, a character who I thought was going to be a lot cooler than he actually is, and I kind of want to put him in the annoying. I don't think he's quite frustrating tier for me. I understand a lot of us are probably out there getting knowledge checked left, right, and center by him, all the lows, the stances, and he's got the clones and everything, the little parry or whatever. Like, you can make the argument to put him in frustrating tier, but I don't really get that frustrated fighting this character. It's more so just maybe right here at the top of annoying, and these aren't really ordered, but I feel like he could just go right here, and that's, you know what I'm saying, that's just gonna be that. Lars' haircut annoys me. Me too. Whack ass haircut. All right, next up we have Dragunov. I don't think I need to say too much. I ain't gonna lie. Dragunov is one of them characters in this game that probably making a lot of niggas think they way better at Tekken than they really are. I'm just saying. This is one of them characters. You could probably say the same thing about Asucena, but Dragunov is one of them characters that's probably fooling a lot of y'all into thinking you better at the game than you really is. I'm just saying. Okay, cool. Moving on, we have Kuma. You want to talk about cheese, gimmicks, just a stupid ass character? Get Panda up here while we're at it. Let's just jump straight to Panda. Y'all, bear players deserve nothing happy in life. Moving on, Leo. Very inoffensive. I am mad at it. When I see Leo, it's just whatever. Like, I just don't feel no type of way about Leo. Same thing goes for Shaheen. Shaheen is a character that is very unpopular in this game right now. It was frankly pretty unpopular in 7, so much so that I'm surprised that he made it back into Tekken 8. But I don't really know a whole lot about him. We don't really see him that much. I think he has a really whack ass rage art, but other than that, I ain't mad. Like, if you pick Shaheen, it's whatever. Like, the character was really boring in 7, but I can't even say if he's boring or not in Tekken 8 because you don't really see him. And when I do see him, like, he mostly just seems like he's doing the same thing. Like, I don't know. I think we have Steve, and I think Steve's a pretty cool character. Not really mad at it when I see him. Steve is also one of those characters that's a bit harder to play, execution wise, and also just because he doesn't have like certain tools. Like, he doesn't really have like a fast like block punisher that you can use as a launcher. He doesn't have like a 15 frame down forward 2 or something like that. You kind of got to rely on counter hits for that. Obviously he's also a stance character similar to Hwoarang in that sense. And some of his best moves are locked behind those stances, other than like back one and stuff, which is obviously like a big counter hit tool for him. But like, when I see Steve, it's like, I respect the craft when it comes to Steve, and I just think he's a really hype character to watch at times. So I don't really have like a whole lot of negative feelings toward this character. So it's just that, you feel me? Then we have Yoshimitsu, and Yoshimitsu is an interesting one, okay? Because here's the thing. I think this Yoshimitsu is the absolute coolest that Yoshimitsu has ever been. I think aesthetically, Yoshimitsu is really cool. I think his current moveset is the coolest that it's ever been. He's got more actual uses with his sword and everything like that. I think Yoshi is really cool, and it's a character that I honestly wouldn't even mind trying out at some point. The problem with Yoshimitsu is that he's also a character that can be very cheesy, very gimmicky, and very annoying. And it really varies player by player, but it makes it really difficult to place him because there are some Yoshi players where they just play him like kind of sound and fundamentally. Like, there's a big difference between a player like Kane and Trench versus a player like iMusician. I almost forgot his name for a second, and a player like iMusician. iMusician, he gonna hit you with everything in the book, right? Kane and Trench is gonna play like a lot more like basic version of the character, and he gonna get the job done. iMusician is gonna test your knowledge on every little string and gimmick and party move that this character has, and he gonna style on you. And it's like, you know, depending on the type of player you're fighting very much determines how you feel about this character. I haven't fought Yoshimitsu that much. He can be annoying, but he can also be in the no one will ever love you tier. I feel like he's kind of middle of the road though, because it's like Flash is also a thing, and like, you know, him sliding around on the ground and like walking on his swords and stuff and like doing all this stupid shit. Like Yoshimitsu could either be very, very cool or very, very, very stupid and corny and whack. And it really depends on the style of the person who's using him, but that makes him hard to place. I feel like for that reason, because it varies so much, like I'm gonna just put him in annoying. What do y'all think in chat? Annoying isn't in the middle though. I mean, I guess technically is the most like neutral category, but it's like some of Yoshi's tools in general just are annoying to deal with though. I'm gonna leave him here for now. He can be annoying. He isn't always, but like when you fight one of the weird ones, like it's just like, bro, what are we doing? Like this nigga, he's one of them characters like Akuma or Panda at sometimes where we just feel like we're not playing the same game. Like I don't know what game you're playing, but we're not playing Tekken. I'm playing Tekken. You're playing something else. Then we have Feng. I think people are starting to talk about it now, but I feel like for them first few weeks, this character was kind of flying under the radar, okay? This nigga right here, for one, ugly as hell, okay? Got a face only a mother could ever love in the first place, and even your mama don't like you, and I can't blame her because have you seen how annoying this nigga is? Feng is a character that is annoying because he is powerful. I think this is the only character on this list that I find annoying just because of how good he is. And like my hate for characters isn't typically like about how strong they are, and like, you know, the Kenpo stance and like the lows of it. Like overall, I just find him to have an annoying moveset, right? And just the way he be yelling and shit. But I got hate for Feng. I definitely got hate for Feng. Mind you, he 26 and looks 62. You know what I'm saying? Nigga got the numbers in his age backwards. He almost need his own tier. Feng is probably a top 5 character. This character feels very top tier. And I was fighting Feng at the start. I was like, damn, this character seemed kind of nuts. But everybody was focused on like Dragunov and Xiaoyu and Jun. And I was like, fair, those characters might be better. Yeah, it's fuck Feng, bro. Yeah. No bias, they'll put him in frustrating. Found the Feng main. Found the Feng main. Then we have Alisa. And like, personally speaking, like this character is annoying to deal with. Like, oh, mid check, chainsaw, plus frames, unblockable, plus frames, take my head off. Oh, 1+2 throw, hold that, plus frames, low, mid check, plus frames. Oh, but Lotus, you play Hwoarang. Yes, I know. Did you see the list? However, this matchup is annoying for probably anybody, but especially as a Hwoarang main. Like, I feel like this is a really bad matchup for my character, which makes me hate her even more. She's right there with Feng. I think Alisa is another character that's like pretty strong and isn't really getting talked about. Like, is she like top 5? I don't know. This because again, this ain't really a tier list based on strength, but she seems really good and really annoying. She might, I mean, Frank, again, you know, I low-key might order this a little bit. Let me run through this a little bit and order this some. Okay, I slightly rearranged this one so that's like loosely ordered and into like within the tiers. But this is one of those things that where like I could change my mind at any given moment, and like at the drop of a hat, like you could rearrange this and I'd kind of feel differently about it. But this is how high up I think Alisa probably is, bro. Is she higher than the Bears? I don't know. So because like on one hand, some of these characters feel like they should damn near have their own tier. Like I feel like I could make another tier above this for like Alisa, Dragunov, and Feng. Like personally, and I low-key like, you know what I'm saying, like, I don't know. It's something like that. Something like that, maybe. Man, them chainsaws is something. Them chainsaws is something. Then we have Devil Jin, who I haven't fought a ton of Devil Jin, but I have a very high opinion of the character. I think he's really cool. I think he's really dope. I think he's very strong. He's difficult. He's not as difficult as like a Kazuya, but like, I don't find him that big of a pain in the ass though. I don't know what it is about Devil Jin, but like, it's just like, you know what I mean? Like, okay, the heat smash is kind of nuts, right? Hell sweep is kind of nuts, but like, even though he has strong tools outside of that, like, he's just not one of those characters like I really get that upset about, like when I'm fighting. Like I just don't really like, you know what I'm saying? I just feel very about him. You're so generous with the Jins. Do I just have bias toward Jin? But like, again, like I think Devil Jin is a top tier character. I think Devil Jin is like arguably like a top 5 character, but I just personally just don't find him that annoying to fight. I also just haven't fought him that much, so maybe that's part of it. But I just don't find Jin like a very offensive character. Like there's other characters that I find way more annoying and they're on this list. And it's like with Devil Jin, it's like I kind of know what to expect for the most part, but it's not as frustrating as like when I'm dealing with like Kazuya, for example. Like they're all Mishimas, right? I don't know, maybe I just have bias, but I like Kazuya. I think Kazuya is a cool character. I don't think the people who play him are that cool usually, but you know, I think the character itself is dope, but when I fight, it's just something different. It's just something different. This is a character that like my opinion will probably change the more exposure I get to him. But I just like, again, I think he's very, very strong, but I just haven't really fought one that made me go, man, I hate this character, you know? Whereas everyone else in these tiers above, I fought at least one player where I was like, all right, bro, fuck you. Like I get to fight a Jin player, but like, all right, man, fuck you. You know what I'm saying? But every other character above him, I fought a player and was like, and fuck you and this character. You feel me? I haven't said that about like a Jin or a Devil Jin yet. All right, then we have Lee, and Lee, another character that seems pretty strong to me, and I feel like he's getting downplayed a lot. I feel like bare minimum he goes in annoying, and he might go into frustrating. What are we thinking? I'm gonna let the chat. Oh, it's they on big fuck Lee energy. Oh, y'all do not like Lee. Yeah, that's how we feel. Yeah, okay, that's fair. That's fair. I feel like this character is kind of. I just find Lee's voice kind of annoying a little bit. I'm not gonna lie, like all the screaming and shit he be doing. And I know like Law be doing the same thing, but I don't know. Maybe it's because Law's been around since forever, and I like Law. There's some inherent bias there, but like. Come on, excellent, marvelous, or whatever the fuck that nigga be saying. I was like, man, if you don't shut your stupid ass up. You know what Lee feels like? Lee feels like if you took the most annoying parts of Hwoarang and Law and combined them, which low-key makes me feel like he should go up here. But his saving grace is that character's kind of hard. It's like there's a little bit of respect there. You know what I'm saying? Which I don't know how hard he is in this game, but traditionally Lee is like a hard character to play. I don't know if he's easier or more difficult in this game or about the same. But like, I'm gonna leave him in the frustrating tier for now though. Zafina is annoying, just crawling all over the floor and shit. Like I don't feel super strongly about her, but she can be a bit of a pain. She's very, very uncommon though. You hardly ever see her. But they just be sliding all over the floor, just lows stance. I'm hopping away on one leg like I'm a bootleg version of Hwoarang, you know what I'm saying? Like it's just, I don't know. Like there's definitely characters I dislike more, like, I don't know, everybody else above her, but you know what I'm saying? Then we have Victor, who I think probably goes in the frustrating tier. Probably somewhere around here, maybe like right above King. Victor's not a character that I think is like super top tier. I think the best thing about him is his throws, which it's still yet to be determined whether or not that's officially actually a bug or intentional. They probably are going to fix that or change that, because his for those who don't know, his throw break window is shorter than other throws. I don't think that's by design, but it's like kind of hard to say, because the thing is, right, is that throws are intentionally strong in this game. Like throws are way stronger in this game than they were in 7, between the counter hit throws and like the tracking and everything that they have, like certain throws as being unbreakable and like guaranteed. Like throws are by design strong in this game. Another thing about Victor is that he has pretty bad lows, right? He's a very linear character, and so if they intentionally wanted to give him a strong throw to compensate for that, like I'm not necessarily saying that's the right move or that it's fine as it is, but I'm not surprised if they did that on purpose. That being said, they said that they're going to look into it. That doesn't officially confirm or deny whether it's a bug or not, but in the upcoming patch you might see that get touched. But I think that's probably the strongest thing about him. Everything else is like he's very committal, you know what I'm saying? Like he has down back 4, like cool counter hit launch, but it's like launch punishable on block. A counter hit like down 4, I think, like cool, but it's like not that good. Like his lows aren't that good. He's very linear, like up 1+2 launch punishable on block. In heat it's really good, right? But that's about it. 4 1+2 moves pretty solid. You know, he's got good mix once he gets going, and if he can get to stance, kind of struggles a little bit again. I don't know why I'm breaking down Victor so much, but like I think Victor's a very cool character. I think he's a very fun character, but he's one of those characters that, like, you know, at the low levels you just mash 2 and you die, right? At the higher level you can't do that anymore, because we know that you just duck the bullet and then launch punish him for it, right? But even then it's like the throws make him a lot harder to deal with, and makes it like more frustrating. You kind of got to adjust the seat and sit up a little bit when you fight Victor, you know what I'm saying? It's like this is one of those characters that, like, he's surprisingly easy for what he is, right? He's very beginner friendly, and the tools that he does have are strong, albeit having good counterplay for the most part outside of the throws, right? But it's just like you kind of got to lock in a little bit when you fight this character, and like losing to him can be a bit frustrating, especially because 9 times out of 10 when you lose to Victor, it's because they hit you with a few throws that you weren't able to break. Yeah, I think I'm gonna leave him up there in the frustrating tier. I think he's good, not amazing, but a pain to deal with at the low level, and at the high level you gotta lock in or you will get robbed by that character. But I frankly despise these characters way more. Then we have 2 characters left. We have Bryan and we have Reina. And Bryan, see, I have mixed feelings about this. I think Bryan is a very, very cool character, okay? I love watching this character at the high level. Tone, Tai, Knee, Jimmy J Tran. I love watching Bryan at high level. I think he's one of the sickest characters in the game. However, in my personal experience in online rank matches, right, the Bryan players are by far the most toxic. I don't know what it is, but the Bryan mans are the ones making like Hitler costumes and like key charging me every time I fight one. Like, I don't know what it is, but the Bryan players in my experience are by far the most toxic players. I have fought. I don't know what it is about Bryan players that got them all hyped up, but it is what it is. And so for that reason alone, like, I want to put him up here, but I actually like the character. It's like, I'm gonna just put him in annoying. Like, Bryan is also a character that's like considered hard to play. The hard part about Bryan is not like necessarily execution for the most part. Obviously, taunt jet up is a thing. Stance is a, you know, not stance, taunt cancels and everything. Like that stuff is hard, right? And you have to get good at that in order to really capitalize on this character. But like, every string he has is a counter hit launch, 1,000,000 damage off any starter, wall-to-wall corner carry off every combo. Like, he's very good in those respects. And at a low level, you'll get very far very quickly with him because people are just going to constantly be mashing. You're just going to get counter hit launchers 6 times a match and just steamroll people, right? He gets harder the higher up you go, as a lot of characters tend to, right? Because you kind of have to play it like your opponent's pace, or enforce your will and hope that they mash while you're oppressing them with like back one and all these other strings and everything like that. Yeah, he can be annoying just because like, it's like, damn, everything he has is a counter hit launcher. And snake edge is also a thing, but like, you should be realistically, you're supposed to react to snake edge, block it, launch, punishing them. Good Bryan players don't use snake edge. You don't see it at high level because it's so easy to react to and block. That being said, down your toes. You get caught slipping, you're gonna regret that. That's gonna hurt. You're gonna hate that. But yeah, I can't really put him higher than annoying, and he's only even that high because of how toxic often Bryan players are. And just like, yeah, he hurts a lot when he gets hit, but it's like, you know, that's about as far as I can push it, I think. But y'all on thin ice. And then we have Reina, who might go at the top of. Reina's another one of those characters that I feel like low-key might be making people think they're a little bit better at Tekken than they really are. Because this character right here is Baby's first Mishima. Tekken 8, low-key, you could say, is Baby's first Tekken game. Reina is Baby's first Mishima. This is the easiest a Mishima has ever been. She's the most accessible character that is at Mishima by far, in my opinion. 442 is nuts. The plus frames is kind of crazy, and like, there's counterplay as there is with everything, right? Block low, cool. You know what I'm saying? Side steps. Like, I get there's counterplay for sure. Easier said than done when you're getting mauled by the plus frames in that 442. 442 is an esports normal. That is a gamer button. 442 is the gamer button. Actually, you know what? Low key, speaking of 442, Devil Jin might gotta move up. Low key. Devil Jin might gotta move up. I just remembered that. This nigga might have to move up. I know we said the same thing for Jin, but like, Jin 442 is the reason why he's in S, and I ain't mad at it. Devil Jin might have to go up. Anyway, back to Reina. We'll think about it. This character carrying legacies right now. This character is saving legacies right now. She's very strong. She's very, very strong, and it's a lot easier than you would think she is because she's a Mishima. Yeah, she's and that's the funny part too, is because I feel like Mishima players always take so much pride, right? Like, oh, but our characters are hard and they require so many fundamentals and such difficult execution and and then Reina just throws all that shit out the window, and it's just like way easier than like Kazuya or Devil Jin or whatever to play, and it's just like, hold that shit. She's pretty easy compared to them. Ironically enough, based off some infographics that came out that we've seen floating around on Twitter and stuff, Reina has one of the lowest win rates in the game, while also being the most popular, or one of the most popular characters in the game. And at first that doesn't sound like it makes sense. When you think about it, it does, right? Because if a character has way more players, then there's going to be way more people who are losing. Obviously, most people who play Tekken are not good at Tekken, right? There's going to be way more casuals and like low level players and intermediate level players and like high level and like good players, right? So that just makes sense. So the more popular your character is, yeah, if you're one of the top 3 most popular characters, then it probably makes sense that you also have a ton of players who are losing. But also, like I said, I think there's a lot of people who are playing that character that think they're a lot better at the game than they are because she's a Mishima. It's like, oh, Mishimas are hard, so I must be nasty. And they're not, so they're losing a lot. That's my theory. That's just my theory though. You can feel free to agree or disagree. It just is what it is. I like Reina. I think she's cool. Don't get it wrong. Again, like, just because I have a character up here doesn't mean I don't like the character. You know what I'm saying? I main Hwoarang, but I understand. I love Victor. I love Azucena. I think Lars pretty cool. I think Xiao Yu is pretty cool. I think King's alright. Kazuya's dope. I might even try out June. You know what I'm saying? Reina's cool. I fuck with Reina. She ain't fun to fight though. She's not fun to fight. But all right, I think that's gonna do it. Like I said, I'm sure there's gonna be plenty of things that people in the comments agree or disagree with. I can't wait to see all the comments from people who like just leave a comment because they skipped to the end of the video. I looked at the list and then questioned things without listening to a single word I said this hour-long video, which I'm gonna edit it, so it's probably not gonna be quite an hour, but it's probably still gonna be like 40 minutes plus. But yeah, man, I explained every single character for the most part, so if anybody in the comments got questions, well, you're just gonna have to go back to that part. But yeah, like I said, this is just it's subjective. It's my opinion with a little bit of input from the chat. And like, you know, on any given day, my opinion might change. I might move a character up a little bit, down a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's this supposed to be all in good fun at the end of the day, right? This isn't something anybody's supposed to take super seriously. This is just how I kind of look at the roster right now, just in terms of how fun they are to fight. How annoying is your main character? Well, this is how I'm feeling. But with that, let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Hit this video with a like if you enjoyed. Subscribe if you haven't already, so you can stay tuned for all awesome content I'm bringing you. With all that being said, this much off today, and remember, it can happen to you swing the bat. Later. This is definitely gonna ruffle some feathers. It's me, I'm Feathers.